big, huge round of applause for David. Here he is.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, that's good. So I think you're really all going to hate me by the end of this story. I have 4 kids, and they really wanted a dog, and I did not want to get them a dog because I figured I'm the one who's going to take care of it. But they just kept pestering me, and eventually my mother-in-law got them a dog. Actually, she didn't really get them the dog. She got the dog, and then when she saw how expensive it was, she made me pay for it. And then she took the credit, and the kids got the dog. And sure enough, like a week into this, you know, they're not doing anything for the dog, so I'm the one walking it and feeding it and cleaning up the shed and the whole thing. And the dog becomes very attached to me. You know, if I sit down, the dog sits down right next to me. When I go to sleep, it sits right at the, you know, goes to sleep right at the foot of my bed. But the problem with this dog is that it has, you know, I don't really like this dog, and it has all these medical issues. You know, it has an ulcer, it has ear infections, it has food allergies, and I have to keep taking it to the vet. And like the cost of the dog is nothing compared to like the maintenance cost. It's more expensive than one of the kids. And not only that, this dog really stinks because of all these medical issues. It smells like a homeless person, and my apologies to, you know, homeless people out there, but it's you can't be in the same room with it. But of course, I'm always in the same room with it, and it smells so bad that my mother-in-law does not allow it in her house. And I've been living with this dog, you know, it's 11 years now that I've had this dog. And recently, my wife and I, we were doing our wills, and we were, you know, getting to the part, you know, there's this end-of-life thing where you give each other proxy in case there's a situation where you sort of pull the plug, basically. And, you know, we were having a discussion about this, like, you know, what sort of proxy do we want to give each other? And the kids heard, and they came in, and we actually had a very mature discussion about, you know, sometimes when there's nothing left to do, the kind thing to do is just to, you know, sort of allow the person to die with dignity and peacefully. And right at this moment, as if on cue, the dog collapses, and I'm pretty. I'm tempted to say, you know, for example, but I don't say that, and we take the dog to the emergency room, and it's thousands of dollars, and they put the dog in intensive care. And this intensive care, it's like, you know, there's pictures from the 1930s of dogs playing poker, like dogs in a human situation. Well, that's what this intensive care is. It's like dogs in intensive care. You know, dogs in a sort of what should be a human situation. And my dog's like on a drip and the whole thing. And, you know, we talk to the surgeon, and the surgeon tells us, you know, the dog's spleen hemorrhaged, and it's got cyst, and it probably has cancer. And if we don't operate immediately, you know, the dog will die, and this is going to cost thousands of dollars. And so, you know, thousands of dollars more. And I sort of confer with my wife, and she says, well, you know, I talked to the dog. And I said, what do you mean you talked to the dog? She says, I looked into the dog's eyes, and the dog looked into my eyes, and we sort of communed, and the dog said to me, please save me. And so I say to her, well, you know, look, I want to talk to the dog. So So I go and talk to the dog, and what the dog says to me is like, save the money, it's cool, everything's fine, you know, you don't have to do this. And so I go back to my wife, and I say, you know, we're not obviously going to do this, and what we can do is we can explain it to the kids. You know, we'll give them some of the money that we're saving, and they can put it in their college fund, or they can give it to a homeless shelter in memory of the dog that stinks like a homeless person. And my wife completely freaks out, like I'm Joseph Mengele or something, and she just takes over, and I get kicked off the death panel. I'm not allowed to make any, you know, decisions here, and we're going to save this dog no matter what, whatever it costs. And the dog gets the surgery, and it survives. and it comes home, and it's limping around, half dead, and it turns out it doesn't have cancer, and everybody hates me because I wanted to kill this dog, and the dog's there as a reminder, and I'm just the biggest bastard there ever was. And my wife says she talked to the dog again, and the dog thanked her for saving her life. And I recently talked to the dog, and all the dog had to say to me was like, "You're just a total asshole." And the other upshot of this is, when it comes to end-of-life decisions, now we have to change the will, because my wife, nobody wants me to make end-of-life decisions for them anymore. However, they all reserve the right to terminate my life should the opportunity present itself. And that's my blunder. Thank you.
David.